Hi, I'm Leo. I'm 20 years old and I've been traveling full-time for the past 3 years. I graduated high school in 2021 and I knew I wanted to travel for a bit, so I took a gap year. Besides traveling, photography has always been a big passion of mine, which I wanted to keep improving in, so I applied to a bunch of schools in New York City. In January 2022, I set off for my first big solo trip. I started in Costa Rica, made my way down to Mexico, then Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia. In total, I was gone for 4 months and it truly was a life-changing trip for me. I learned so much about different cultures, met so many people, discovered myself in so many new ways, and made unforgettable memories. After these 4 months, I felt it was time to come home again as my money kinda got low and I had to make a decision. Will I go study in the United States? Will I continue traveling? Will I study in Europe? Or what will I do in my life? Coming home after such a long trip and living a life full of freedom was a beautiful yet confusing experience. I spent around 2 months in my hometown Vienna until I left for my next big trip. I decided I want to keep traveling and will pursue photography as a freelancer as I did the past 2 years. With a 40-liter backpack and a one-way ticket, I headed off to the Netherlands, Belgium, the UK, until I set over to the United States. I did a week-long road trip with this girl I met on Instagram and lived in New York for 2 months. I had some savings from the time that I stayed in Europe in the summer and only did couch surfing and lived fairly cheap as possible for New York. I went there to focus on my photography mainly, but then I set off to Canada to do another road trip with another girl I met on Instagram, and it was the adventure of a lifetime. That was before my time of social media. My Instagram account back then had maybe 2K followers and it was only meant for friends and people I wanted to connect with. It was this trip, so December 2022, that I started posting reels, and ever since then everything has been really different. I've traveled 10 out of 12 months in 2023. Some of my best adventures include road tripping Georgia with 2 girls 8 hours after I met them from Instagram in the winter, traveling Hawaii for 5 weeks, backcountry hiking in Norway, and hitchhiking all the way from the Lofoten to the North Cape, living with an indigenous tribe in the Amazon jungle in Ecuador, which is, by the way, one of my favorite countries, and getting robbed for the first time in my life in Morocco, which ended up costing me 5,000 euros. I've also had the pleasure to host 3 group trips in 2023, 2 to Iceland and 1 to Ecuador. It's been such an incredible experience and I'm so excited for the ones that are yet to come. This year has been pretty epic already. I've completed the Everest Base Camp trek with 18 strangers that met online in March, road tripped Oman, backpacked 3 weeks through India, and now have been nearly a month in Japan, which has actually been exhausting as I got sick, but I'm recovering currently. I'm heading to the States in May before I head to Guatemala in June to host my 7th group trip. One of my biggest philosophies in life is strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. I love meeting people, I love animals, I love nature. I travel on a small budget, so I hitchhike, I couch surf, I'll camp, I'll walk, whatever it takes. But honestly, not even always for the money, but because I prefer this travel lifestyle a lot more, even though it can be really exhausting at times. I try to share all the realities of traveling on my socials and share travel tips and tricks for aspiring solo travelers who want to embark their journey around the world. If you want to join a future group trip of mine, make sure to watch my stories or just sign up to my mailing list in my bio. I always love connecting with like-minded people, so comment if you think we would vibe. If you want to follow my future travels, don't forget to follow. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments and I'll do my best to reply. Much love and have the best day.